Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's LandonRemixes here, and man, oh man, there are so many good records coming out these past couple of weeks. I feel like I'm going to be so behind, and next month it's going to have not actually that many records that I'm going to want to review, maybe 3 or 4 at this point, including The Prodigy and Maddie, both have records coming out. But for now, we are reviewing the new Mat Kearney record, Just Kids, which is his follow-up to his 2011 record, Young Love, and that, I have to say, is one of my favorite records that I own. Definitely surprised me when I first got it. I've been a fan of Kearney ever since Closer to Love came out in 2009, but I was a much bigger fan after Down came out as one of the lead singles off of Young Love, and man, I got that album and was just completely blown away by the amount of sheer talent this dude has. And when I found out that he had a record coming out this year, I was super pumped to hear what's on it. So anyway, let's dig right into this. The album opens up with this track called Heartbreak Dreamer, which overall I wasn't crazy about. The sampling was kind of cool with the vocals. And then we get into this kind of cool speech called Shake the Dust, and that's courtesy of To Write Love on Her Arms. I assume Kearney and that group have some kind of common ground where they decided to collaborate for this track, and I really liked the track for this. I wasn't crazy about the vocals that Kearney put onto this. In a couple tracks like this and the title track Just Kids, his vocals almost seem to be out of pitch and a little out of whack. Somehow, I'm not really sure how to really describe it, but something seems a little bit off with those. This record is basically kind of what I see it as, a concept record where Kearney is trying to kind of go back into his childhood and take all these elements that he took growing up with all these rap elements and the just being a guy on the street with a guitar kind of feel, and kind of combining all that and giving his whole history of his life, which is something that he really hasn't done. Like the last record, Young Love, which was kind of just a fun little pop record where he kind of just messed around with sounds and rap styles, but this one's a little more personal, I feel, than his last one. Kearney uses a couple tropical elements, like on the track Moving On, which is the second track on the record, the track Billion, which has got some pretty cheesy lyrics, honestly, but I enjoyed that just as much regardless. There's a few really awesome tracks on this record. My personal favorite on the record is called One Heart. He kind of gets into the whole, like, what is the true meaning of life? There's got to be more than just what we're living here on the earth. What if there's something after life? Which I know Kearney himself is a Christian, so I've always thought that was really cool. And I really like this track over the rest of them. It's got a really nice groove. His raps come out very nicely, and what I also saw, which I think one of my favorite reviewers, ARTV Reviews, came up with, is that Mat Kearney sounds a lot like Macklemore did on his last album, and man, I didn't really notice that until he said it. I listened to the record a couple more times and just finally realized that, man oh man, he really does pull from that Macklemore style with Where Same Love was on Macklemore's last record, and kind of that little just piano rap kind of pop style that appeals to his pop listeners, and I really appreciate what he was trying to do with that. He doesn't exactly retain particular style a lot in this one, but I really appreciate Mat Kearney as an artist with all these different styles. He pulls in rap and that whole, he pulls in kind of the John Mayer kind of category people that listen. There's fans of Matt Nathanson that listen to this dude. He's pulling all kinds of people from all different kinds of genres, especially someone like me who's into electronic dance music that is just absolutely intrigued by something of this caliber. Something of this style you wouldn't think a guy like that's into, let's say, dubstep for that matter, could get into something as soft-spoken and lighthearted as a record like this, which isn't really pushing on particular themes that really are hard-hitting, but seem to pull in people like me, which I just love Mat Kearney for. There's this track called Ghost, which is absolutely emotional. I really like that one. Definitely a hard-hitting, heart-centered piece. There's a couple other fun tracks in there called, one's Los Angeles, one's The Conversation, which he did with Young Summer, And I was introduced to her vocals for the first time in this one. She seemed kind of familiar, but I didn't know where I'd heard her from before, and I don't think I'd actually heard her, but for some reason I felt like I knew her. But on this record, I was kind of introduced to her. So yeah, the vocals, they have a really nice collaboration. Cheesy, but it's a good track. Definitely a good track, and you should check this out. Los Angeles has kind of got that stellar groove and rap styles that Kearney likes to bring in, and I really felt like this record was indeed a solid record. He kind of pulls in all these different styles, he uses the themes of kids that don't exactly fit in, like on this track, One Black Sheep. He's really captivating all these different arrays of people, and I really think that he, as an artist, is progressing in this way. Although I don't think I like this record as much as Young Love, for whatever reason. It had more tracks, but it had really less appeal to me somehow. Like I said, those couple tracks like Heartbreak Dreamer and Just Kids, the title track, both kind of seemed a little out of there. Like, what's he trying to do here? It doesn't seem like he knows exactly where he's going, and the vocals don't really fit in with the instrumental. But I think the lyrics on this record are a lot more heartfelt than his previous attempts. Maybe something like Closer to Love on his City of Black and White record. I think this album was probably a little more heartfelt than his previous attempts. But anyway, I'm going to give this record a solid 7 out of 10. I'm just kind of comparing it in distinct to a record like Hardwell's United We Are. I think it was slightly better than that, and perhaps slightly under where Imagine Dragons' record was, so I put it pretty much in the middle at a 7.0, and I'm not going to base all my record reviews on what I previously based stuff, because that would be completely pointless, but I think that this record definitely deserves a solid 7, so hope you guys enjoy this record review. I'm probably reviewing 2 more records today, so that's going to be fun, yay! I might even change my shirt just so I don't wear the same shirt in 3 different videos, so hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later. Peace!